Hi, I'm Devanandita, and I'm talking to Maneesha James about the OSHO Bardo CD, which was released recently. Hi, Maneesha.
Hi, Nandita.
Yeah. I hear the OSHO Bardo CD sales are doing very well.
Yes, they are, and the feedback's really very, very gratifying. We're very happy with it. I know you've practiced this meditation a few times, so how is it for you?
I find it very helpful as a daily meditation, and the combination of the voices and the music work perfectly for me. And I find it very helpful as it is a fine balance between keeping myself awake and alert and relaxed at the same time. How can I put it? For me, it is as if awareness is speaking to awareness about awareness.
That's a lovely way of putting it.
Yeah, and I would find it very helpful when I'm dying. Yes. How do you see OSHO Bardo?
As a meditative process that supports one in going inside and consciously relaxing. So a process that's both helpful as a daily meditation, as you suggested, and also in the dying process.
You co-created this with Sudheer, who runs OSHO Samadhi workshops with you.
That's right.
Yeah.
In fact, it was a whole team effort. There was a designer who put so much work into the media book.
Yes, I see the design is very elegant, and I guess it has a nature theme.
Yes,
all
that's
through.
right.
Yes, I could just show you a little bit, and it also mentions the benefits of OSHO Bardo and who is it for? Yeah, and
how to introduce it to someone else. A lot of information there.
Yes, and then you have the CD itself. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I think a lot of work has been put into it.
A lot of work has been put into it, and the music too, especially composed and played by our musician friend, who's a meditator also, and as part of the team, the many friends who sort of acted as guinea pigs as we were developing the meditation, who gave us feedback.
What inspired you to make OSHO Bardo?
I really would love to share with people the possibility of doing dying differently. There's so many superstitions around dying, so much fear to the point of denial and avoidance. And being familiar with Osho's vision, I know dying can be a completely different experience. Probably the biggest fear is that of losing control. And through meditation, and all the OSHO Bardo is a meditation, through meditation we can learn how to move inside and become familiar with that journey that will be the same in dying. And also to discover that aspect of ourselves that can observe everything that's happening to the dying body, and in that observation knows itself as separate from the body. With fear dissolved, then it becomes so much more possible, as Osho suggests, to actually celebrate dying.
Coincidentally, not long after OSHO Bardo was released, I came across an American scientific journal which reported findings of research into what people regard as a good death.
Yes, that was really interesting. The researchers talked to 3 groups: dying people, their family, and to healthcare providers. And they were unanimous in identifying 3 elements that for them constitute a good death: having a specific dying process, it being pain-free, and having a sense of well-being. OSHO Bardo delivers on all 3 accounts.
Some of us are familiar with Tibetan Bardo Tudol, which is an ancient Tibetan Buddhist scripture that provides support for the dying. So how is OSHO Bardo different from Tibetan Bardo Tudol?
It's for contemporary women and men. As you mentioned, the Tibetan Bardo was created many, many years ago, 2,500 years ago. And we're different, times are different. It's also very culture specific and related to Tibetan Buddhism, to a religion. on the contrary, OSHO Bardo has no cultural or religious context, so it's equally appropriate for people with a religion or without. It's experientially based rather than belief based. Yeah.
What do you mean by experiential?
I mean, it's based on the experience anyone can have who consciously moves inside to that space we know as meditation, that space where we know ourselves as separate from our thoughts and our feelings and any bodily sensations, that space where all those elements seem very peripheral, where the whole, what we took once as reality, the outer world, seems very dreamlike, and the space we're in of vastness, of stillness and silence, that feels like really this is the reality, this is who I really am. OSHO Bardo is based on that, an experience, as I say, that's available to anyone who moves inside.
Also, anyone using OSHO Bardo, do they need to be a meditator? For example, I was thinking about my grandmother who is, do you suggest I could offer OSHO Bardo for her?
If she's interested, if she expresses an interest and willingness to, you obviously share your experience, how helpful it is for you. Yes, and particularly perhaps when one's aging, moving away from the activity of the outer world, in sickness, in dying, the energy is moving inwards. So even if someone has never experimented with meditation before or heard of it, they can be very open and ready to go inside. Yeah.
It's not just the old.
Not just the old who are going to die, absolutely.
We all need to prepare.
We all need to prepare because it's a journey everyone's going on, and good to acknowledge that, to come to terms with that reality. Yeah.
Acceptance is the key.
Absolutely. Yes. A beautiful example of that is in the book that Philip Gould wrote as he was dying. He was a politician. He was a member of the House of Lords and a meditator. So a very worldly, sophisticated man, obviously, but also a man with a interest and familiarity with the inner. And he wrote a book, When I Die, Lessons from the Death Zone. And in that, many beautiful passages, and just in one of them he writes, I'm enjoying my death. It's the most fulfilling time, the most exciting journey. And about acceptance, he says, if you can look death in the eye and accept it, that is healing. And then this amazing sentence, I feel ecstasy after ecstasy after ecstasy. He wrote that knowing that within months he was going to die. So for me, that is such an amazing example of real acceptance.
Yes. Perhaps Philip Gould, as a meditator, would have known that he's separate from the body, knowing himself as the consciousness, would see dying as a release, wouldn't he?
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's where the whole Osho's understanding about celebration comes from, that we are, once we're free of the body, of course, how amazing is that? And to go, yippee, it would be a total celebration.
And a chance to know ecstasy after ecstasy.
After ecstasy. Yes.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
And with that, of course, immense gratitude, I think.
Yes.
Osho has said many beautiful things about gratitude, and here in particular in relation to dying. When you die with a sense of fulfillment and gratitude because life gave you so much, then death's simply the ultimate height of all that you've lived. Then death is a joy, a celebration.
Clearly, every home should have OSHO Bardo CD.
Absolutely.
How do people order it? And is it true that it's available as an MP3 download?
Yes, to order it, please go to our website. You'll see the address at the bottom of the screen. And yes, it will be available as an MP3 download. To stay updated as to when it's ready, do go to our website or check in to our Facebook page, the Samasati Project, and or do subscribe to our free online 3-monthly newsletter, which you can do by, again, going by the website.
Well, it was great talking to you, Maneesha. Thank you very much for that.
To you also, Nandita.
Yes.
And to you, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
listening to us.
Yes, thank
Bye-bye.
you.